So this is, as I said, this is an interdisciplinary course, and you know that one is economics and the other is data science. So why data science? And before I tell you guys the reason, I guess you guys also know why data science, because of increasing demand, right? What we have been seeing is that there is an increase in demand for people with the skill set of a data scientist, right? So what we have seen in the latest graduate employment survey, those students graduates from the digital technology and information cluster. They are the second highest earners. I mean, the top highest is law. But NTU, we do not offer law. But digital technology and information is the sectors that is growing, expanding rapidly, and is they are having a huge demand for talent in this area. And what we know is that this demand is going to continue to increase, right? Because more and more companies, more and more sectors, they are starting to make use of big data in their daily operation. So we are not going to say that, it has increased and that's it. No, we actually see that this is an increasing trend, right? So this increase in demand, we really have to see it against the backdrop of the rise of the digital technology. So even our government, Singapore government, has identified emerging technology as one of the main driver that is going to shift the way we do our jobs, that is going to make changes to our future economy. So the thing is, the rise of digital technology has allowed large amount of data to be collected. So I'm not sure whether you guys realized it, but every time you do shopping, online shopping on your handphone, on Shopee, and when you swipe your TikTok, actually plenty of data are being collected. And all these data collected are being used to analyze for business strategy. And we see that this is going to be a trend, right? The way we work, the way we do things, right? So data science is going to be important, and it's going to be even more important. Earlier on, I was at the Nanyang Auditorium, and I spoke to quite a number of students. Many of them come out to me and ask me, what is data science? Right? So even though we keep hearing about this thing, data science, but what is really data science? So just to give you a very broad understanding, okay? Data science is the science of data. Right. It involves 4 major components. Right. So the first component is actually the capturing and maintaining of the data. So as I say, every time you swipe on your TikTok and every time you do your online shopping, actually there are plenty of data. Right. So you have data scientists will need to know how do they capture the data, how do they gather the data, how do they maintain the data, right? So things that you need to learn include, for example, data warehousing, data processing, data cleansing. So you have to take all this data, make it into a format that is usable. And from there, you go on to the next stage, whereby you process the data, right? You have vast amount of data, unrelated. So what a data scientist will need to do is that they need to find patterns, they need to find trends, they need to find ranges, right? They need to look for data whereby they can use it for some predictive analysis. And then come the third component. This is the most important of a data scientist. You analyze your data. Right, you run regression, you run text mining, you do qualitative analysis. So you try to understand what the data is trying to tell you. And the final component of data science is communication. You do all this analysis, right? Now, you need to tell your finding to your audience. Your audience can be your bosses, it can be your customer, right? So you need to take your data and put it in a presentable form. You need to put it into charts. You need to put it into table. So that's where you learn about data visualization. So the thing is that as a data scientist, actually you need to know everything. And this is what data science aim to teach you. Then of course, this is an integrated program, economics and data science. So now that you are guys, hopefully, are convinced that data science is super important, then you will ask me, then why do economics? And as an economist, I'm an economist, I'm not a data scientist. I would say that we look at this from two angles. The first thing why we do economics is to acquire the economics way of thinking. You know, as economists, basically when we look at any form of social phenomena, we will tell you that that is basically, you know, the decision made by an individual based on expected costs and expected benefits. And this is basically the economics way of thinking. And this through this economics way of thinking, we study how a consumer make choices. We study how firms make choices. We study how government make choices. And then we study how all these choices interact with one another. And we use this economics way of thinking and we apply to all types of social economic issue, healthcare, education, taxes, right, financial sectors. So economic way of thinking has been applied to a wide range of discipline. Another very important thing about why we learn economics is we want to understand what is a national economy. And we want to understand what is international economy. That's why we study things like economic growth, inflation, international trade, international finance. So that is the economic way of thinking. Another very important reason why people should study economics is to learn econometric. So what is econometric? Econometric is basically the use of statistical method. Right? You apply statistical method to economic data so that you can give a quantitative content to economic relations. So econometrics basically allow you to do data analysis to understand what is actually happening. Econometric is what changed you, I mean, if you are going to do economics, from a student of economics to a practicing economist. So I cannot overemphasize how important is the skills of econometrics, right? Because even if next time some of you choose to go to the public sectors and you want to do public policies, econometric is the essential skills. So the next question is, why do we want to combine economics with data science? The thing is that even though economics deal with data, data science also deal with data. Our approach and our tool sets are actually quite different. The main difference is our focus of inquiry. For economics, we tend to focus more on causality, cause and effect. Okay, let me give you an example of causality. Let's say after your first degree, you want to do an MBA. Then you say, should I do an MBA? Will it increase my lifetime earning if I do an MBA? All right, this is causality. And if there is really a relation, you would like to know by how much your lifetime earning will increase. All right, so this is basically the study of causality. Data science focus mostly on prediction. Another different thing is the toolkits that we use. So for economics, we use a lot of proprietary software, right? Like Stata, like MATLAB, right? Even though actually we do teach R, right? Which is a programming language in economics. Data science, they use a lot more programming language, right? You have to learn Python, you have to learn R, you have to learn Spark. Spark is something for the big data, right? And we also differ in terms of the data, the size of the data we can handle. So economics, we handle smaller data sets. So even though I say smaller, it's actually quite big. But nothing compared to the type of data that computer science, data science can do. Data science, they really make use of the power of computer to very efficiently go through all the vast amount of data that you collect. You have to understand that for the big data, most of the time the data they collect are actually may not be obviously interrelated in the first place. So they have to use the programming, use their computer power to be able to find patterns and relationship. Economics a little bit different. Economics, we always start with a model. Okay, students who have done economics before will be able to understand me a little bit better. So those of you who have done economics before, you will learn consumer theory. Under consumer theory, you learn demand curve, right? You say that demand is dependent on, for example, income, depends on prices of related goods. So when we want to write out a model, we will say that demand is a function of income, demand is a function of prices of related goods. So this is our model. We always start with a model before we do our data analysis. We have a hypothesis, right? But big data different. They start with data, right? So you can almost see that we are at two different ends. So although we are at two different ends, economics and data science are actually has a lot of things in common. One of the things is that both emphasize a lot on statistics. Right? It's almost the backbone. It's the backbone of econometrics, it's the backbone of data analysis. Both economics and data science emphasize a lot on data analysis, right? Quantitative data analysis. So, and we see a lot of commonality, right? But not only that, we also see that they are complementary in nature. In economics, we emphasize a lot on the understanding of how market works, how the economy works. Right? So these are the knowledge. Right? And data science, they emphasize on the tool, right? The computer skills. And economics and data science will be, the best of both worlds. On one hand, you have the understanding of how markets work, you have the understanding of how economy work. On the other hand, you have an expanded tool set that allow you to deal with more type of data. And the thing is, one thing that we have to admit is that because of the rise of the digital technology, we actually start to see that even in sectors that is traditionally where economists work in, like banking, like finance, like the public sectors, increasingly they also start to use, they are also trying to work with big data. Which also means that even, as an economist next time in working in a bank or working in the finance sectors, it will be beneficial for you to have understanding of how data science work. So right now, let me formally introduce you to the Economics and Data Science program that is offered by NTU. So this is a 4-year program, right? We call it Integrated Interdisciplinary, because this is a program that is jointly offered by 3 different schools. Upon graduation, you will be awarded the Bachelor of Science in Economics and Data Science. The 3 schools that offer these programs are, of course, firstly, School of Social Sciences, the Economics program. And then we have the School of Computer Science and Engineering. They will do the computing courses. They will teach the computing courses. And then we have the School of Physical and Mathematical Science, which will teach you the mathematics and the statistics. So let me give you a rough idea what you will be studying if you were to choose ECDS. Okay, so under economics, okay, you can see that I have color-coded them. Those in bold and in black are our core courses. Core courses means compulsory. You have to read it. And you realize that basically it's micro, macro, and econometrics, because these are really from the 3 pillars of economics. This is the courses that will build you a strong foundation in the economic, the economic way of thinking that I told you earlier on. It will also teach you econometrics. Then we have those courses that I color-coded them in red. Okay, for those of you who are seated far away and can't see it very clearly, it will include courses such as financial economics, economics of corporate finance, international economics, public economics, economics of digital platforms, and so on and so forth. Actually, this is a very long list. I will have only selected a few to put in here. Right. These are what we call the field subjects. Usually you have to understand that economics is a subject that covers huge areas. And among these areas, there's various areas of specialization. At the undergraduate level, we do not expect students to specialize, but we would like to introduce students to all these economics area, economics discipline. So students can choose from here. And then there is this courses that I put it in brown. These are what we call the applied courses. So these courses, they emphasize more on authentic learning, or they emphasize on hands-on practical work, right? So these are the applied courses whereby we want to go beyond just teaching you the theory. We want you to actually get data, run the data, do the data analysis. So some of the courses includes behavioral economics, experimental economics, panel data and policy analysis, econometric and business forecasting, machine learning and data analysis. And there is one course that we came up specially for the ECDS student, which is big data application in economics and financial analysis. So again, I must say that those courses in the red and the brown actually have a lot more choices. So these are, the black color one are the compulsory courses, but the red and the brown are what we call elective. You have a choice, right? So if you scan the QR code, it will bring you to our ECDS website, and from there you will be able to see the courses, the range of courses that is available. And let me now very quickly go on to data science. I see still, people streaming in. I'm not sure whether they come in for the next session. Well, they come in for my session. Okay, come. For those who came in late, you are in time to know what you are going to learn in data science. Okay, again I color-coded it. All those in blue colors are courses in computing, taught by the computer science. Those in green are the mathematics and statistics courses. So again, those that is being bold are the compulsory courses. These are the foundation courses. You need to do well in these courses in order to learn more things. Whereas those that are not bold are the elective. So if you are interested in it, you can choose it. Economics and data science form the two, I would not want to use the word major because this is not a double major program, but basically the two main areas that you study. Apart from economics and data science, there are also some other coursework that you need to complete for graduation, including a final year project. This is a research project, right, on the topics of economics and or data science. And we want to emphasize on the use of data science in the workplace. So for this particular course, we not only require students to do one internship, we actually require students to do 2 internships. So the first one will be during the school holiday after the second term, and the second one will be during the school holiday during the third term. We also allow students to combine these 2 internship, shorter internship, into a semester-long internship. Right. And then for all students in NTU, you will have to do this ICC course, stand for Interdisciplinary Collaborative Course. Basically, these are the courses that teach you important things outside your major. right? So like digital literacies, ethics, sustainability, and so on and so forth. You will have some AUs allocated for this, what we call BDE, or broadening and deepening elective. These are what we call the free elective. So basically, you can use this AU here to either read more courses from econs or data science, or you can use it to read any other courses of your interest in NTU or even overseas. Okay, some students are very concerned that this is a course that has 3 different disciplines. Will the workload be very heavy? I would say it will be definitely heavier than a single major like economics, but not a lot more, but slightly heavier. But I would say that it's still manageable. Every semester, you are expected to do about 6 to 7 modules, right? And for every module, lesson hours is about 3 to 4 hours. As ECDS student, you can also go for exchange. I think you probably have heard a lot about this by now. I'm not going to say too much. But NTU do have a very well-established exchange program. We have partnership with more than 150 universities. So many of our students actually go overseas to do a short summer program or a long semester-long program. So as ECDS student, you can also opt to do part of your courses, some of the courses overseas. So let me now go to the very last part about career prospects. We teach you the economics way of thinking. We teach you the ability to analyze data, and that is still within economics. We also teach you the ability to manage big data. I will imagine that the students who come out from ECDS will be very strong in data analysis. So any form of jobs that require that data analysis will be a good fit for our graduates. So I can imagine that you can be a data scientist, a statistician, you can be an economic researcher, you can be an industry analyst, a policy analyst, you can even be an economist, right? As I say, many of the jobs that is traditionally done by economists, nowadays we also see that big data is being used, right? Or the companies are looking into using them. But the thing is that that's not all the jobs that our student can do. Because what we are teaching you are important skill sets, right? We teach you the economics way of thinking. We teach you computing skills. We teach you statistical skills, analytical skills, problem-solving skills, communication skills. And I will believe that as a graduate who has learned and who have gained ability in all these skills, will be able to do a wide range of jobs. And that brings me to the end of my session. Any question?
Yeah, I have one question. With the recent, the ChatGPT, the AI program, do you think that this will replace the programming industry in the future, including the data science?
Okay, it's a good question. The thing is that AI is really changing, and it's changing very rapidly. And the ability of them doing things is also changing very fast. How it will change the future workplace, no one can say for sure. The only thing we can say is that even when, okay, two different things. One thing is that we have been saying all the while, even when through computers, through technology, many of the work can be done, you still need someone to work the machine. You still need someone to see whether the analysis makes sense. Right? So I'm not sure whether you guys try to use ChatGPT to do assignment. I did try from a student perspective throwing some of the question. But the thing is that without good understandings of the economies, the specific area they are looking at, actually, I mean, if you do have good understanding of those areas, you will realize that ChatGPT is more often wrong than correct. Right? So very general thing, I think is fine. Very specific things, I think you need the professional. And the professional are the human. And then the second thing is that technology evolves very quickly. We do not know how it will change. We only know that it will change. So keeping up with technology is your best bet. You may learn some toolkits right now that maybe in 10, 20 years' time is obsolete. But the thing is that because you already learned the first the toolkits, it will be easy for you to learn the second, right? So you rather be on the boat, you know, rather than to, you know, just because I don't know how the future is going to change, I'm just going to wait and see. All right? Okay, I don't really have time to take another questions. I can only say that we do have a booth at the Nanyang Auditorium. So if you have any questions on ECDS, please go and visit us at our booth.